Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Tennille. I'm a wife, a mom of 3, and I document my husband and I's journey of paying off over 600,000 debts. Today I'm going to take you through the process of how my husband and I plan every month for the month ahead and how we stay accountable as a team to make sure that we stay in budget every single week. I'm also going to take you through how the month of July was for the Brow business and how much I made and how much I paid towards it. Just a recap. So just to start, we start here. It always starts here. This budget journal is, I'm a very visual person, so putting it on a computer or just having it somewhere and figuring out was never me. I could not be that person. I'm the person that needs to write everything down and tick it off just to make sure it's done. So in the beginning of the month, my husband and I start off. So I'm going to do September because we already did August and I don't want to take you guys through all our personal numbers. So in the beginning of the month, we make sure we start with our calendar. We make sure whatever's coming up in the month, if it's not on the calendar, it does not exist in the budget. So if there's a birthday, if there's a function our kids want to attend or a concert or whatever it is, it always starts here. We then make notes of things that should be in the budget, but we can't make it at this time. So we'll just make a note. So if there is wiggle room, you'll be like, okay, about that, let's put it in. We use the zero-based budget, and that's simply making sure that every single amount within our budget has a room, knows exactly where it needs to go. Whether it's our income, subtract our expenses, subtract our debt, subtract our savings, it all has to come to zero. If there's money left over, we need to find room for it to go. So it can be added to savings, debt, entertainment. It's up to us. Just to give you an overview, our paycheck planner looks something like this. So we make sure that we include my husband's income, all our fixed expenses. These are expenses that never change. This is our rent, car payments, insurance, fiber. That all goes under fixed expenses. In its subscriptions, we don't have any subscriptions, but we can make a note there. And then it's our cash envelopes. Our cash envelopes are expenses that we have control over. So that is our food, the kids' entertainment, toiletries, petrol, car wash, whatever it is. It's amounts that we have control over. We can see, okay, this is how much I can only afford to spend on this certain category per month. We then go over to debt and then savings. So just to show you, so at the end of it, we then take the amounts, the income, we subtract the fixed expenses, the subscription, cash envelopes, debt, savings, and at the end of it, it all comes up to zero. And then at the end of the month, we'll come back, we'll say, okay, majority of the time, fixed expenses, whatever we budget for, is exactly how much we spend. Sometimes there's a bit of a change when it comes to our rent, and that's because of lights, etc. But cash envelope, one that we mainly focus on, just to see how we did for the month. We mainly focus on spend with our cash envelopes. So once we're done doing our paycheck planner and we're happy with the amount and everything comes to zero, we then move on to what I have is called the cash envelope planner, because it was one thing to know how much I'm going to spend for food, the babies, and entertainment, car, petrol, whatever it is. But I needed to physically see, okay, so this week, this is how much I'm going to spend. Next week, this is how much I'm going to spend. I think I've told you before, food was the one category that was literally had us in a chokehold. We used to use a budget of 5,000, that whole 5,000. We used to finish it in the beginning of the month, and then we used to be sucking our thumbs towards the end of the month, like, now what? All the food's finished. And that is because of poor planning. You're going to realize whatever we steward is so important to plan and plan wisely, because this is what it shows us in the Bible. Like, God is all about planning. So once I'm done, I then take all my cash envelope categories and I write them all down here. Like, I have babies or kids, but on category I have the opportunity to then break it down further. So entertainment, I'll be like, 500, we can spend it in one go at one place, or we can split it over. One day we can do the park, maybe we'll spend about 200, 250, we'll just buy 2 pizzas. The park's free, they can run. and the next week we'll, I don't know, spend 250 on just them somewhere. But we always plan the beginning of the month, what's the outing for the month, because it's so important that we still live, because we don't want to let our kids suffer for the mistakes that we made. And that's always my thing, like they are supposed to enjoy this life, and I don't want them to feel it. Like my husband and I take a small amount, as you can see, 1,000, and that's just little spending money to have. We'll get whatever we want, but because our goal is bigger, we want to get out of debt. We could take a little more, but it's not the point. When it comes to babies, we make sure that's done in the beginning of the month. And our kids, 500 Rand a month, that's allocated to them. But the importance is tithes, giving and saving. Food is the main thing that started this whole cash envelope planning, because I am a person who does my groceries weekly. So I needed to know, okay, 7,000, we're now on 7,200 is how much we budget. But when we first started cash stuffing, it was 1,000 Rand. And we used to make sure that 1,000 Rand is how much we spent every week. And those meals used to look like beans, dal, you know, all the basic little meals is what we did just to stay in budget of that 1,000 Rand. And obviously, as the years went by, we were like, listen, we are tired of eating the same thing. We need to increase the budget. So now we're on 1,800 a week, but this month is actually on 1,600 because, listen, we had to make a big purchase. So this is just a mock of how I'm showing you how my husband and I plan and stay accountable each month. But this month, there is no spending. The kids don't have anything. There's no entertainment. And I'm coming here and I'm being transparent because we had to get beds. And if you know the price of beds and mattresses, linen, etc., we had to max that out because it's something that we were putting on hold and we didn't want to touch our savings. We took that money and we just went to go buy it. And it's okay because it's just a month sacrifice. We still have, I think, 700 left for entertainment. And that's fine because main goal was to get that, and it's finally done and we are happy and content. We still have our money for food, and that's all we need to get through this month. So 1,800 is what I keep in the bank account. I don't take it out because I do all my shopping online because it just works out better for me. I'm a mom of 3 and going into the stores is a no. So once I'm done with that, I also just do a tally it up just so I know if it's all in the accounts. Sometimes I draw everything out like on the smaller ones, but if there's a bigger plan, sum up the categories that I will be drawing out each week. And then food, I make sure I plan how much is going to be spent for the month over 4 weeks. But if it's a 5-week month, that's why it's so important to plan. I then take the 7,200 and I stretch it over 5 weeks. Another thing is, when I say my husband and I work as a team, everything when it comes to the big payments, because it's in his account, he has the responsibility of making sure everything is paid every single month. All our bills, he pays it. But when it comes to the food, he takes that money and transfers it into my account, and I'm responsible for buying the food each week, planning our meals, etc. And that's why it's called teamwork, because at the end of the day, I know I'm responsible. We are responsible, but it's for our own duties. But together, we know it keeps us accountable, because I know every single week the family's looking to me to make sure there's food on the table. And every single month, we look into him to make sure that all the bills are paid. So that's the beauty of marriage, guys. But it took us a lot of learning to get here, honestly. I'm not going to act like it was overnight that the system happened and it just played out. No, it took months of prayer, like, Lord, just get this man on the same page as me, or putting my 2 cents out there and be like, if you do it this way, could be better. But we're not all used to change. And my husband and I also both come from 2 single parent households, so we were also used to seeing things done a little different. So coming together as a team and trying to figure out how we planning this all on one income was a bit of a tight situation, because we were in situations where he had his own income, I had my own income, we were both working, and now we still had 3 babies thrown in the mix. So it was a lot of learning. But now I can genuinely wholeheartedly say that we are in a good space where this is literally we can do it with our eyes closed. It's like, okay, this amount's getting transferred to you, you good. When it comes Friday hits, like today I'm doing my planning, and once Friday hits, I sit down and do planning for what we need for the week, what we already have. Guys, you know, it used to take us from wasting money to now we even have money left over. So just last week, we weren't feeling well, so we had two nights we just had simple meals like boerewors rolls, and the one was pizza. I made pizza, which is even cheaper than buying pizza, and that worked out so much cheaper for us. And now we have 2 meals from last week left over, and those meals are now being transferred to this week, so now I have to even less to spend. So when I did my list this week, it actually comes up to 1,100, which means I have 500 Rand left for us. I don't count my chickens, but I don't get excited too quick, because the week happens, you realize, oh, I forgot to buy this. Oh, the snacks are running out. So I just hold on to it, and only at the end of the week do I draw it out, and then I'll add it to maybe my savings challenge, or we'll keep it in the account and just transfer it into debt. I don't know, it works out differently every week. Once we're done with the cash envelope planning, we then go on to our grocery planning, and we make sure I'm in charge of this. And every single week I write down our meals, any breakfast meals, and anything that I need to buy in the week, like mushrooms or cream, things that I'm only going to use late in the week, as things that or bread, as things that I'll go for in the week. And then I'll write all the ingredients that I need. I'll put my budget, how much I spent in the shop 1, shop 2, and if there's money left over, then I will make a note of it. And then I go on to income tracker, and this is something that I use because, like I told you, I am a brow artist. So whenever I have money coming in, I like to track it, because on a weekly basis, some people pay by cash, some people pay by card, and then I just make a note of it, and so I know exactly how much I'm paying towards debt each and every single week. And then I just have notes and a spending tracker. So yeah, that's our process that we do every single month to stay on budget. It is a process, but you know what? Yeah, every successful business is run with processes, and we want to run our home smoothly, and that's why we made sure that we have all our processes in place. So once we're done with our planning in the beginning of the month, I then take over, and it becomes all about me. So I do the weekly grocery shopping, and then I see clients on a weekly basis. It's me paying debt, and that's when I do my weekly updates and show you how much I made, how God is blessing me, how God's blessing the business. It's just amazing. So this is where I keep all my business money. So I keep my tithe, giving, savings, and any miscellaneous is what I keep in here. And if there's anything left over, I can always transfer it, put it in a savings, or just put it back in the account and add it to our debt. So just to give you a quick business recap on how we did for the month of July. July was such a good month, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. I stopped paying my debts, and then I started again in July. I was like, Lord, I'm fully committed. I'm getting back, because there was a bit of a situation and it threw us off. And now we're back on 11,000 on a smallest debt. And so out of anger, I stopped paying it. And I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this. I need to get back. Like, this is the promise I made to you, Lord. And I could also see like the business was drying up. And that's obvious because I wasn't true to my contract with the Lord. This month I started on 11,000. I just want to go to the debt section. As you can see here, our smallest debt is 11,000. And just to show you how much I made for the month of July, you can see I just added a clean page because I didn't want to show the other numbers. It was my husband's one. So for the month of July, the business made 2,400. My expenses came out to 858 Rand. 1,242 Rand is how much was paid towards debt, and 300 Rand is how much we saved. And I am like, I still can't get over it, you know. It might be a small number. It might be like, oh, you only pay 1,200, but knowing how small my business is, it's like, God, thank you, because we started on 11,000 this month, and now we are sitting at a total amount of 9,664 Rand. As you can see, we started on 5 digits and we're now on 4. And now I am full adrenaline to just pay it off and just stay committed to the cause. Paying off debt is truly a journey. You know, there's so many things that will that will throw you off course. But it's for us to just stay consistent, be like, Lord, I don't know what's happening, I don't know why it's happening, but my eyes are fixed on you. And I said this in my previous videos, is when every time I took my eyes off God is when things went crazy, and I was like, why me? And it was because I was being disobedient. So yeah, I'm truly being obedient in the season, and this was July. In total, it's 1,000, how much did I say? 1,200 and some change is the amount of extra payments we made towards this debt. So now it's sitting on 9,664. I'm so passionate about paying off this debt because majority of this debt was in my name. So I just want to be the one that gets it down. And my husband has a lot. He plays his role in making sure that we sorted. And I just want to make sure I play my role in making sure the debts are sorted. We are using the Dave Ramsey method of the 7 baby steps, and we're using the snowball method. So we're paying off the smallest debt to our biggest debt. So as the time goes by, I'll take you on to the next debt. I don't want to overwhelm myself because I promise you, the weight of numbers is truly heavy, guys. And it dampens your mood, you know. It hits you hard every time you say these numbers. So to be excited that you're paying off debt is truly a miracle in itself, that one can be in that space and be like, wow, I'm paying off this amount, you know, and have excitement, because it's truly a burden to carry every time you mention those numbers. So I'm just taking it number by number. I'm focusing on my smallest debts, and once I'm done, we will celebrate, and then we'll go on to the next one, which gets even bigger. July was an amazing month of paying off debt. Then I'm going to take you on to our savings. So every month we try and put 500 in our 2026 savings challenge, as well as I have another challenge in here, which is a 4,000 challenge. We try and put 500. But this month, because I said we had to buy beds and all the other things, we didn't get to put anything. So July is currently incomplete. As you can see, we are quite full. Look how full it is. I'm so excited. But July is currently incomplete, but I will complete it. And I usually make notes in this journal because every single month is also in paper form, and this is just holds the money. So I make a note in this journal how much we actually spent, but disappointed that we didn't complete it. But listen, we have other ones to look at, and I'm excited for that. So with this, with these 2 savings challenges, it's to fill our emergency fund, which we want to be at 15,000 at all times. So at the moment we are currently on 4,000. It's almost 4,000 with these 2. And once we're done with this is when we're going to focus taking this money and throwing it towards debt. But at the moment, the system's working. And I actually don't want us to do that going forward. It works for now. So my goal is just to have these 2 savings challenges be done by the end of the year. So I hope this video was informative and just gave you a little more insight on how my husband and I successfully plan for the month and make sure that we stay on budget on a weekly basis. So if there's any money left over at the end of each week, we just take that money, throw it in a savings challenge, or if it's in the account, we just push it towards debt, whatever it is. This was actually a good video, you know. You get stuck in all the bad that's happening in life, but it's so good to do this video and to see how far we've come. Where we were in the beginning, I didn't even know what we were doing, to be honest. We were just figuring it out as we were going along. But once we included God in it, and it was like, okay, this is what you're going to do. This is the first step. This is the next step. And he seriously worked on our strengths. And it was also my husband and I sitting together and figuring out, okay, you're doing bad with the money. I think I'll be better holding onto the food money for the month. And you do better paying everything in the beginning of the month, just figuring out a system that truly works for us. And you can only know that when you are seriously walking with God and asking him to refine you, refine your marriage, refine places where you find you are failing, seriously failing in your finances, in your relationships, whatever it is. Like, he's such a good father and he just wants to see his children succeed. So I hope this video encouraged you and just gave you a little more insight, and hopefully you can implement this in your home. You know, even your kids, just giving them a certain amount every month and teaching them how to steward it on a monthly basis and a weekly basis. So yeah, I pray this video blessed you, and I think I'm going to do these recaps at the end of every month, but I'll see you on Sunday and show you how much I made for this week and how much debts I got to pay. So take care and stay blessed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.